pursuing the Lord. Keep fighting for quiet time with him. Stop scrolling, watching the news and listening to all these headlines and like, who cares about J-Lo? Who cares about, what's going on in sports and this person and what LeBron said and his tweet and that, man, all of this stuff is causing division. All of it is doing nothing but taking you away and taking your eyes off of the throne of God. This is what I want you to think about. When you're out in your day and you start realizing how much stuff distracts you from the throne of God, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable when you're awake to that. And so what I want you to think about is, guys, we need to stay in a continual state of worship. And what that means, when Paul said, pray without ceasing, do you think Paul meant get on your knees and pray to Jesus 24/7 without ceasing and never stop? I mean, is that what he meant? Because that's the way you could read it, right? But what did he mean? I really, truly believe he said, stay in a continual state of recognition of God. Like wherever you are, like when Jesus said in Matthew 28:18, all authority has been given to me on heaven and on earth, therefore go. When you read the Greek for that word go, it means as you go. As you go, be a representative of mine. As you go, remember me. As you go, share the gospel. As you go, serve. As you go, I want you to, to do what I've showed you. Look at Jesus's ministry. Look at the way he lived his life. Look at the way he served. Look at the way he spent time with the Father. Look at the way he worshiped. Look at the way, he took time to be with people. He was not getting caught up in what was going on with Caesar. He wasn't getting caught up with, what was going on with the Pharisees were saying about him and what man was saying about him and how many disciples were leaving his, his teaching. Go read John 6. He dropped that hammer and a majority of the disciples, they were like, I'm out. You talking about eating flesh and drinking blood? I'm out of here. You're psychotic. Bye. And he's like, all right, y'all don't want to be here? I mean, I mean, this is what the kingdom is. You're either in or you're out. And so Jesus wasn't concerned with the opinion of man. And so guys, we've got to get to a place where we follow in the example of Jesus, just as his apostles did. We want to be like Peter. You want to be like Paul. You want to be like a gangster like these guys. Well, in order to be like them, you got to be willing to do what they did. And that's the problem. We're soft. I'm soft. I'm in here talking like this. I'm going to get out of here in a minute and be like, have an opportunity to share the gospel. And I'm going to be like, they might not like Jesus. I might be a little bit ashamed. I'm a little ashamed. I don't know if they're going to like me. And what are they going to say about me when I leave? And man, dude, we cannot worry about that. We can't. And guys, I'm just as guilty and I'm just as needy as you. And this is why we need each other. And so I say this as I preach this to you, I'm preaching to myself. And guys, we need to do this together. Lock arms, get out into the community. As we go, do it. Galatians 1:10 speaks very clearly. Paul writes to the church in Galatia, you can't be concerned about what man thinks about you and be a servant of the Most High God. We can't. Let them call us crazy. You know what they will do? When they get in trouble, they're going to call you first. Because they're going to be like, oh yeah, Saleem. I had people reach out to me. Hey, will you pray? People that are just so secular and so of the world. And I'm at the gym and guys like, hey, I'm getting this, thing. I got this going on. My mom, my mother-in-law, this person's got cancer. Hey, I'm trying to get this job. Hey, Saleem, I see you on Facebook. I see you on Instagram. You got a direct line to God. So, hey, will you pray? It's like I'm the priest or something. Like I'm the high priest. I'm like, no, dude. You can have this too. I got an open line to communication with the Lord because I surrendered my life to him and I made him Lord of my life, or he made me his child. I'm redeemed. He's opened my eyes and I have new life. And now because of that, I have direct access to the throne of God, just like you do as well. So we've got to go tell the world about this. We've got to tell the world. We cannot be quiet. We can't be passive. Pray without ceasing, meaning stay in a continual state of presence of the Lord. Here's what I mean. I get out of the car. I'm like, dang, man, look at all these different trees. I mean, all these species of trees. What? Who? Look at the clouds. Look at the sky. The sun is up. I look at human beings. I'm like, wow, all these human beings are just so different. And like, you got different nationalities. I mean, this guy's Cuban. This guy's Puerto Rican. This guy's Arabic. This guy's African. This guy got a German guy, like blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, gosh, I think about the anatomy of the human being, the heart and the way the liver and the way it processes. Like, what? Like, my wife is pregnant. I go home. I see her belly and I see the bump and I know that there's a baby being formed in her womb. And I'm like, how can you not think that there's a God? And so I just give him praise. Like, oh my gosh, Lord, like, you're so good. Like, you're so good. You're so good. You're so good. You're everywhere I go. And then I get out in the workforce and I'm like in an elevator the other day and I'm talking to this lady and she's like really visibly upset, like tears in her eyes a little bit. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, my mom just died. And I was like, man, I'm sorry. I was like, I could tell something was up. I was like, well, hey, let me tell you something. My dad just passed away 2 weeks ago from cancer and it was rough. But you know what? Revelation 4 speaks of this throne, that right now the Lord of the universe sits on this throne and he's being worshiped, and all creation points to this throne, is moving towards this throne. And right now the 24 elders they've casted their crowns to this throne. They are on their face. The angels, the heavenly chorus is singing, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. 24/7 they are worshiping this holy God. And if we would keep our eyes on that, man, it would make all of this easier. The other thing, Revelation 21:4 speaks of this day when this coming king will redeem, truly like redeem. There will be a new heaven and a new earth. And that we will have resurrected bodies and there will be no more crying, no more mourning, no more sin, no more cancer. And the lady began to cry. And I began to shout, I'm going to pray for you. And she was like, oh my gosh, and she got off and she was a new person. And she told me, you just changed the trajectory of my day. And you've helped me to shift my focus off of that to something bigger. And she thanked me and she walked away. And I said, man, that right there is a continual state of just acknowledging the God of the universe. And that's what God desires, because then you make your life and your business and your family and your purpose, and all of that is for God. It's all for him. And my friends, that is it. That is living, and that's praying without ceasing. And then I might get in the car and throw on a worship song and just cry out to the Lord and sing to him. But you know how I get there? I get there by spending time with Jesus every single day. I get there by praying to Jesus all hours of the day. I get there by taking my car through the car wash. Not literally, but I need to go through the car wash. I need to go to the gas pump and get filled up. And I might just stop and say, gosh, my wife told me today, go grab lunch today because I was having a rough day. Go grab lunch. Don't be scarfing it down so you can get back to work. Just allow that time. Allow that time. You spend time with God. Pray. Spend time with him. Allow him to fill you up for the afternoon. Because right now it's 9 o'clock, 9:30. By 12 o'clock, I'm going to be empty because I'm pouring out and people are coming to me. And I'm dealing with the flesh. I'm dealing with temptation. I'm dealing with the world. I'm dealing with the enemy. I'm dealing with all this stuff. So by 12 o'clock, I'm going to be on a quarter tank. And guess what? What do you do when you have a quarter tank of gas and you get down to 1/8 and now you're right at the thing, the light comes on? You don't just keep driving the car, because what are you going to do? And you're just going to run out of gas. What you do is you stop at the gas pump and you get filled up. You get filled up. And that's what we need to do. And it's constant. We've got to do that daily. We've got to do that hourly. Try not filling up the tank and see how far that gets you. You are going to be punching someone in the throat by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Seriously. You're going to be so fleshy. The fruits of the Spirit out the window, you cannot operate in the fruits of the Spirit just on your own. Again, we are hell-bent towards flesh. We're not bent towards the fruits of the Spirit. We're not bent towards love and patience and peace and kindness and gentleness and self-control. What? Dude, I want to drop kick people by 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm walking around and I'm already a fireball. So imagine this fireball with no spirit. I'll choke slam you, dog. Like, why? I mean, I'm rising up. What? Like, pride? Like, come on, come get some. People, seriously. So I've got to stop and be like, Lord, first of all, I repent of my wickedness and my anger and my pride and all of this lust, all this crap that is just overwhelming me. And I bring it to the foot of the cross. And Lord, I nail it to the cross because I am just wretched and I need you. Lord, fill me up. Fill me up so I can go out and love this world like you're calling me to love this world. Like you're commanding, not calling. He didn't ask you to love the world. He didn't suggest, hey, Adrian, I suggest you go out today and love the world. No, he said, I command. And so if he's telling us, if he's commanding us, it means there's no other option. As followers of Christ, we are commanded to love him and love our neighbor. And so we can't do that apart from the fuel, apart from the light, apart from, the ability to get cleaned up. And that only comes through the Spirit of the living God. So, man, I just went way long. This is like a 45-minute live. I don't even know what's going on, but